Hello guys, once again welcome back to the channel Rahul Automation Studio. So hey guys, in my last video I have explained you about the getText method, and in this video I'm going to explain you one more method in your Selenium that is very useful while writing your test case. So which method? So I will be explaining you one method that is getAttribute. GetAttribute is a method. Might be you have not heard much more about this getAttribute method, but this method is very useful, guys. So what is the purpose to use this method? Suppose if you want to get the value, get the value of any attribute, of your HTML tag, right? Suppose if there is a XPath or there is a locator for your username or password or login or anything, and once you want to locate that particular tag or particular locator, it is located. But now if you want to, there will be multiple attribute for that particular tag, and if you want to get the value of any attribute in that particular HTML tag, so in that case you have to use the value getAttribute value, guys. So I will show you how you can use. So definitely I will be using this website, and this is the credentials for this website. This is a dummy website account that I have created. So let's see how we can do it and how we can fetch the value of any attribute of HTML tag. So let's create a one Java class, and we will give the name as a get attribute, and we will add one method, right? Public static void main method we will add. Let's click on a finish. And in my last video I have explained how to launch browser and all that, so I already have uh, the code for it, for launching a browser and for the website. So this is the website, guys, right? So this is the line of code which is using to launch for your Chrome browser. So here we are I am just creating a ChromeDriver class object and just storing in WebDriver interface reference object. So it will launch my Chrome browser, and once my Chrome browser will launch, I will be opening the URL. So this is the URL that I will open, and after that I will maximize my browser window, right? So let's see what exactly I'm talking. Let's browse to this particular website. We will run it as a Java application. So it will launch a Chrome browser, and it has to open a particular website in the browser. So here actually I'm talking about a get attribute, right? So I have found this example. So I mean, I thought I should be explaining this because many don't aware about it. See, this is a web page, right? So here you have to enter the username and password, and this sign in is there. Suppose initially it has been implemented in your application, and there is a test case that you have to write down a test case, because I'm explaining the scenario in which scenarios you can use this get attribute method. So you have a one test case where you have to verify the text on this particular button, that the text on this particular sign in I mean this button is coming as a sign in or not with your expected result, because expected result as per the requirement is the text which should be come on this button should be the sign in. So how you can verify it? This is a test case for you, and same I'm going to write down the code for you. So first of all, you have to locate this particular button, right? This is the button, guys. You have to write down the XPath for it. So why I am explaining this scenario, guys? Just let me zoom it, because I want to explain the scenario. If you will not understand it, you will not understand this particular method. See, multiple times you will see in many of the tags, many of the pages, you can use the getText method, which also I have explained in my last video. But every time you will not be able to use the getText method, guys, because getText method will be used if that particular text is coming in between the tag. Like I will show you how. Maybe this, like this. In this case, you can use the getText method because it is coming in between the opening and closing of the tag. But getText method you can't use in your this sign in button because you can see the sign in value is not displaying between the tags, between the opening and closing tag, right? You can see instead of it, value is coming for the one attribute of this particular input tag. So it is coming for the value attribute. So in that case, you can't use getText method to fetch the value of a text written on this particular button, right? So in that case, guys, you have to fetch the value of a attribute of this particular tag so that you can verify the value which is displaying on the text is coming correct or not. Like now it is there signing. You will change to something else. Same text method will display on the button, right? So same way you have to verify it, guys, that sign in text is coming on this button or not, and this sign in text is not displaying between your opening and closing bracket of text. So in that case you will not be able to use the getText method to fetch the value for this particular button. So in this scenario you have to use getAttribute method for this particular locator if you want to comparison that text on this particular button is coming correct or not, right? So this is the scenario that I wanted to explain you guys. That's how you have to use the getAttribute and where you have to use that getAttribute method. So for that, what you have to do, first of all you have to get the XPath for it, right? So how you can get the XPath for it? You can use this one. So you can use this and data cypress. This is an input tag. So input at the rate equal to like this. So this is the XPath for this particular locator. With the help of this XPath, we will use getAttribute method of Selenium, and we will fetch the value for the particular attribute for the value attribute. And after fetching the text, we will compare it with your expected result. So let's see how we can do it. So this is maximizing the things, and once it will do, we will use driver dot find element by dot XPath, right? We are using the XPath, so we will use the XPath for this. So this is a like scenario, one scenario I'm explaining, and similar way you can use as per your requirement and another test cases also, guys. After that, what you have to use? You have to use getAttribute, guys. You can see this. So this is the method getAttribute, and it is taking one variable, so that is string name. So in place of this name or for the calling this method, we have to pass one argument. So what is that argument? Argument is your tag name. So you have to use a tag name for it, like value. So in our scenario, see, in our scenario, the tag name is value. So we have to pass as a value, and it will fetch the value of this is sign in, right? So it will fetch the value for this attribute. So that's how you have to use. So let's see, it will fetch getAttribute method we will use, and this will be taking as a string, right? And the value name is, I mean attribute name is value, right? Yes, well, attribute name is value. Just we will use semicolon. Now this getAttribute method, if you will see, this will return a string to us. So return type of this getAttribute method is a string itself. So we will store because it will return a value. So definitely we have to catch that particular value in a variable. So we will use a string variable for this. And we will give the name for our variable attribute attribute value, right? Now, first of all, we will print it. So we will use system dot out dot println method. We will use sorry, yes. And we will use this variable, right? Attribute value. Now let's try to run it. We will close this browser and it should fetch this particular text, sign in text for the button. And after that, we will compare it because in every test case, in the last, we have to compare some expected result with the actual result, right? That is the purpose of our testing. It should be matched with our expected result. If it is not matching with our expected result, so it means there is a bug, right? So that's how we create a bug, right, guys? So now let's see. So in the console, guys, you can see it is fetching the value of an attribute and the value is sign in, right? Now, once you fetch the value, after that we have to use the compare. So we will use the assert. So in assert, you can use your test ng annotation, right? So you can use test ng for the assertion. So assert equal, we will use assert equal because both values are expected result or actual result. Those values are equal or not. So if those are not equal, it will give the error or exception to us and we will create as a bug for that. So assert equal we have to use as it is a string value, right? So it is a string value, so we will be using the string one. And now here we have to write down our expected value. So our expected value is this. So as per the requirement, as per the user story, as per the test case, the text on this particular button should become as sign in, right? This is our expected result. Now we are fetching the value from the web page on the or on the actual page, and after fetching the value, we will storing in variable and we will compare is the actual value is coming correct or not as per our expected result, right? So we are using sign in and this attribute variable value is a variable. Now let's try to run it. Just click on run as Java application. So this is how the get attribute method is very useful, guys. If the value, if the text is not present in between the closing, opening and closing bracket, closing of tag. So in that case, the value will be present as the value of an attribute for that particular tag. So in that case, you have to use the get attribute method, guys. You will not be able to use get text method. So that's how. So you can see this is signing and there is no console error. So our test case is passed, right? Suppose it will be fail. Suppose our expected result is signed, right? Now we will fetch it from the actual on the web page and then we will see. Suppose run it, run a Java application. Our expected result is only sign. Sign should come on the button, right? Let's see. So I'm showing you if it will fail. So how, what will be the exception it will throw? So actually sign in is coming on the page, but our expected result is sign should come. So in that case, it is a bug for you and you will report it in your tool and send it to developer that text on this particular button is not coming proper. The text should become signed, but it is coming as a sign in on the button, right? So that's how you will write the description and you will log a bug, right? So that is the purpose of the testing, right? So you can see it is saying expected some value, but it was something different, right? So that's why it is throwing an exception to you and our test case will be failed, right? It has failed actually, right? So that it should be the sign in. Once it will be sign in, and our test case will pass this time. So for that, guys, you have to use getAttribute method to fetch the value of a attribute. Let's see in the console. Yes, our test case is passed, and this time you can see there is no error, right? So this is passed. So this is how, guys, you have to use the getAttribute, and you can fetch any particular attribute value. It is not necessary only just variable you can, I mean, this value only you can use. You can use any variable name, I mean any attribute name type. So yeah, that's it, guys. Thank you. In this video, I just wanted to explain this method, and because it is very useful at the time of creating the test cases, and many get stuck because they want to use only the getText method and they don't know how to fetch the value. So in that case, they get stuck because they only know the method is getText method to fetch the value from the web application, but there are some different methods also if value is not present as per in the closing and opening bracket. So you have to some different method. So that's why I wanted to explain to you, guys, and I think you will like this concept and this method. So thank you, guys, and if you please like it, like, share and subscribe to channel, share with your friends and colleagues, and please keep supporting me. Thank you, guys. Thanks to all. Bye.